Okay, hi everyone. We're here today with Ryan. Ryan, maybe go ahead and introduce yourself and say hi.
Hello, I am Ryan Fuller and I teach at Rooted School here in New Orleans, and currently I teach biology and chemistry.
Cool. So Ryan, maybe talk a little bit about what your school has put in place in terms of systems and what systems you're using and what's working and how it's working.
Yeah, so Rooted is unique in that as a normal part of our model, we already had Google Classrooms set up for all of our classes, and most of our assignments were sort of rolled out to students using the Google Classroom. All students have Chromebooks already, and so we had a lot of the sort of digital infrastructure already in place. And so one of the routines that we put in place is now for distance learning is that 1 hour of the day is dedicated to a particular class. So for instance, for biology, there's a one online Google Hangout biology class every day at 9 a.m. And so instead of teaching different classes throughout the day, I have everyone logs in at once, and I'm able to sort of engage with students about the content, answer questions, do different activities, and then at the same time, students are also continuing to work on the assignments that are in Google Classroom.
And if they can't log into that time, I don't know if that happens or not, but if they can't log into that time, is there ways that they can still engage or how do they uh, make that up?
Yeah, great question. So one of the things we've been doing is our leadership team and front office team has been doing a great job at making sure one of the problems we had was a lot of students either didn't have Wi-Fi or didn't have a strong internet connection. So I think leveraging support from New Orleans Public Schools, we're able to get sort of hotspots for students to access the internet, and as well as make sure every student still had a Chromebook, because some of them might have left it at school to charge it. And so we're actively working to make sure Chromebook chargers and whatever students need, they have. And then we also, teachers also offer office hours. So in 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening, if a student needs to check in with a teacher, maybe they weren't able to get their question answered during class, or maybe they just want to come check in on a more individualized level, we have office hours, and students can sort of log into the Google Hangout office hours and ask their more like individual questions and get help that way.
Cool. So I'd love to see maybe what some of this looks like, but my next question is around what content you're doing and your students are doing and how the content is going.
Yeah, excellent question. So in biology, we're using a resource from Inquiry Hub, and the resource is having students explore how planting trees can help out with climate change. And so we're studying, what happens at the granular level during photosynthesis. So how is a tree processing water? What is it doing with carbon dioxide? And how is it, turning that into oxygen? And sort of to learn a little bit about plant cells and their function. And then in chemistry, we're starting to go do a deeper dive into compounds and learning how can we determine what a substance is made of, like its molecular structure, just by knowing maybe the molar mass of it and understanding about the relationship between the number of moles and molar mass, and just like understanding more how chemical reactions work.
Cool. Do you have any images of what that looks like?
Yes, so I can, yeah, share my screen. So this is one of the biology. Can you see my screen okay?
Yeah, this is perfect.
Yeah, so this is one of the biology lessons that we did.
Is
So
this pulled from Inquiry Hub, you said?
yes,
Okay.
so this screen shows a simulation that was linked in Inquiry Hub, and it simulates photosynthesis, and so students are able to have this simulation run online. And basically you just click go, photosynthesis starts happening, and students can sort of visualize how water and carbon dioxide mix in chloroplasts, and eventually they start to turn into glucose. And so students can manipulate the amount of carbon dioxide and water and light, and sort of analyze how does that impact the photosynthesis process. And then in the Google Doc, I sort of walk them through um, sort of choosing what variable they want to investigate and making a prediction about what will happen, and then running the simulation with those new settings, and then sort of posting either a graph or a picture and explaining sort of what they saw. So this is a typical biology lesson.
Cool. Um, so I'm interested in how moving to remote learning is making you get more creative. Are there additional like cool things that you have found that you're doing, or are you pretty much going business as usual?
Yeah, great question. So, one thing that our team has been doing is we have been sort of sharing best practices um, as we find them. And about every morning, we'll, in our morning roundup, someone usually will post or talk through a tool. So, one of the tools that we've been using is Poll Everywhere. And so, for instance, this morning, I did sort of the equivalent of an exit ticket. Um, and I just sent out a poll through a chat in a Google Hangout, and students were able to sort of post their answer to it. And so I'm able to get clear data, and then we can talk about it. Um, Another thing that I've been using that I don't have pulled up right now is Kahoot is a really useful tool because it's a very engaging activity for students, and I can
Yeah.
get like real time data on what percentage of the students are thinking about a certain topic. Because that's one thing that's really challenging remotely, is to understand like what get a quick pulse check of the room of where's our understanding. So Kahoot provides like instant data on what students are thinking about different questions.
Cool. And we can, for folks listening, we can link those uh, later on so that you have access to these resources. So
Mhm.
thank you so much. I guess I'm curious, you shared some resources. If teachers are interested, is there a way for them to get a hold of you, or where would you direct them to?
Yeah, I would say emailing me at rfuller@rootedschool.org. Um, that is probably the best way to get in touch with me.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.